In this video, we're going over hip flexor exercises. My name is Dan Pope. I'm a cash-based physical therapist. I am a strength coach. I'm a personal trainer. I'm a meathead. I love all things fitness. On this channel, we go over how to make you a better coach and clinician. I can think of a variety of pathologies where hip flexor strength is actually very important. Big one's going to be hip flexor strain injuries, as well as femoral acetabular impingement syndrome. Trouble is, hip flexor is kind of this forgotten muscle group, right? So I don't feel that most physical therapists have a great catalog of hip flexor exercises. And the problem there is that you may get a patient that comes in, doesn't tolerate a whole lot of hip flexion, you give them something that they shouldn't be doing, they get mad, irritated, doesn't feel great. You also might be dealing with a post-surgical patient or just someone that has, let's say, a really bad hip flexor strain injury. We have to know how to take them from real low to really high, okay? So in today's video, I'm gonna give you a whole bunch of different exercises I think are very helpful for these patients. Probably my favorite place to start for hip flexor exercises are going to be dead bug variations. So essentially you have your patient on your back. From here, you have a band, and I'll instruct the patient to pull down slightly. And what's good about that is it turns on your core a little bit, so your core is now active. The first variation, this is phenomenal for, let's say, post-op FAI patients, is just lifting one heel on this side and putting it right back down again, right? Nice and easy. Step two, I like to bring both legs up, this one as well. Now go ahead and just tap your heel down on the floor. As your patient gets stronger and stronger, all we have to do is extend out the lever, so straighten out your leg more, and reach a little further down on the table. So you don't have to go straight leg all at once, but you can if the patient is really doing well. If you want to make this even harder, all we have to do is add an ankle weight here. And we can also come towards the end of the table. Yep, and keep on scooting until you're going to come all the way off the edge. Good, let's go into a dead bug position. Go ahead and perform one repetition, go all the way down towards the floor. Yep, even deeper, keep on going. Very good, so we're working towards end range hip extension here. Another great variation is a wall lean hip flexion. So you can do this against a wall, you can also do this against a bench. So try to sit up or stand up nice and tall, good posture here, and then lean against the table, good. And from here, all we're doing is marching with this side leg. Yep, you can see the ankle weight down here adds a little extra load to the movement. If you don't have an ankle weight, you can also do the same thing with a band. So take a breather here, Danielle. I'm gonna put this around your feet, just like so, and go ahead and do the same thing. Feeling super spicy like Danielle, you can do band plus weight. We can also perform the same movement with a band around the feet, but more of an acceleration position. This can be done in front of a wall or in front of a bench, table, whatever you have. So go ahead and lean forward and give me good posture. So from head down to feet, nice and tall, and just drive one knee up at a time. Excellent. And this looks great to me. Good. If we want to make this a little bit more challenging, we can obviously add a tougher band. The other thing we can do is we can go down into a plank position. So push-up position for me, Danielle. Good, nice and long. Same drill, drive that knee straight up. So now we have an additional core component because we're a little bit closer to the floor, and we have the resisted hip flexion going at the same time. So if your patient is tolerating all of those exercise variations and they're a little bit too easy, this is a nice way to make things a bit harder, right? So what we're gonna try to do is the same exact marching drill, but now lying on your back, all right? So from here, let's lift up your heels just a few inches. Very good. And I want you to spread the band apart and march. There you go. Yep, and you can either alternate or do one at a time. So we have a very challenging core component just by lifting up your legs, and we're adding in the extra resisted hip flexion with the band. Next exercise I really like is a plank with hip flexor marching. So go ahead and get into a plank position. Yep, nice tall posture, and from here just lift up one leg at a time. Yep, and you can march, you can hold on one leg, there's a lot of variations you can try. If you want to take this up a notch, we can extend the range a little bit, make this a little bit harder by putting your feet up on the bench. Let's go on the bench in a plank position. Yep, and we'll perform the same tap, but you're only having one foot tap at a time. And that's actually, let's come back up into the push-up position. There you go, sorry. Yep, and just tap one foot at a time. Takes a little longer to get your foot down to the floor and right back up again, a little bit more challenging. If we want to make this a little more dynamic, all we do is now add the hip motion and try to actively, yep, extend the hip, flex the hip, back and forth. We can also get the hip flexors involved with some mini band stepping. As opposed to going side to side, we go more front to backwards. Let's practice just reaching forward with your left leg. So only left leg, there you go, and then back. What happens is that Danielle has to drive with her hip flexor on the left side to reach the foot out. Let's try the same thing, but now reaching backwards with the backside leg. Very good. And we're also working the hip flexor on the left side because you have to drive from the left leg to reach with the right. So both these are actually pretty good hip flexor exercises. One pathology where hip flexor strength is very, very important is going to be femoral acetabular impingement syndrome. If you want to see how I incorporate hip flexor exercises into my FAI patients, go ahead and click that link above our heads. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.